been far too long since we've had an Empire replay, so courtesy of Slade's artillery-only hours, we're back this time with 4 rank 9 Hellblaster volley guns, General of the Empire on foot leading the way, and already Plague Mortars landing as this artillery duel gets underway. We've got Kugath with 2 Soul Grinders, front line of some Chaos Warriors, with the Festering Stooges in the back, and yeah, basically just all Chaos Warriors, some Furies scattered around as well, just a couple. As for Slade's gunpowder glory here, he's got a Light Wizard, of course, a Hellstorm, a Regimenter now, and the Sunmaker. In the back, we've also got some Knights of the Blazing Sun, and a whole Vanguard line of Free Company already rushing in to assault the flank here and kind of break up and delay this advance for the artillery to then blast in, and already some pain being felt significantly by warriors in the front line. But the Hellblasters are pretty quickly going to switch onto the big man himself. Nurgle's gifts distributed by his jolly old saint here. Not going to be particularly welcome in the Empire, so the best solution is, of course, to fill it full of holes, right? This wise man once told me, you can't fill a hole with more holes, but I don't know if he ever looked inside Kugath's belly, actually. The Furies do rush in and just goon one Hellblaster volley gun before the Knights of the Blazing Sun can respond, and actually do the same on the opposite flank, so it's not like Nurgle's completely toothless here, but I mean, you do lose out almost immediately on 3,000 value. I do actually have a second replay of this particular build setup to show you guys versus the Ogre Kingdom, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But this battle, despite the loss of Kugath early on, Nurgle's going to try their best, just pressure up with its infantry. Free Company are going to go for a little bit of a kite. Meanwhile, Sterling's Revenge also get in a beautiful position to use their armor-piercing missiles to great effect here against Soul Grinders. But meanwhile, in melee, Knights of Blazing Sun are able to shut down one unit of Furies pretty successfully. That said, a lot of the artillery has been run down and killed. Most of the artillery crews are dead. There's pretty much just this one Hellblaster volley gun alive still. This one's also got a couple of lads running there. It looks like they're going to come back from route. Knights of Blazing Sun trying to finish off the Furies before they can do much more damage to the Sunmaker. Sunmaker's probably used a lot of its ammunition already. Yeah, a decent amount. Get some good hits on the Festering Stooges as they close in. Let's watch up close, though, as, you know, at this point, there's relatively few units actually participating in the battle. Festering Stooges are going to unleash what's left of their Death's Heads to reasonable effect against the Knights of Blazing Sun there. Yeah, let's see if they can get a solid volley off. The armor-piercing missiles should do a decent amount of damage, and they definitely do. General of the Empire waddling into combat there, and the Knights of Blazing Sun getting ready to hammer in and charge. Festering Stooges trying their best to, you know, delay, deflect with those Death's Heads, but just taking way too much damage. Weren't even able to get most of the volleys off. That said, there are still plenty of Chaos Warriors here. A few more being led out into the hills by the Free Company militia as they run around. Sterling's Revenge, only 33 models still left. Decent amount of ammunition, though. They can just kind of stand there and annoy the Soul Grinder. Really, the Soul Grinder should just charge and terror route them. I don't believe they're immune to psychology. Well, they actually are. Wow, y'all learned something today. Actually, feel like I probably knew that at one point, but that's interesting. Yeah, so actually couldn't terror route them, but maybe could just straight up route them in combat. A nice, shiny net. Wow, that new net texture is definitely something. Nets these Chaos Warriors in place. Allows this clutch Hellblaster volley crew get back on their guns and start firing away. Only 3 guns are operational. They don't have crew to man the 4th, but still, they have crew to man these 3. And sometimes when you remount your artillery, they'll go in this kind of Congo line formation. But thankfully, they do have line of sight over each other and aren't going to necessarily just blow up their own artillery models, although they did just explode a couple of the Sunmaker's batteries there, but that's okay. Knights of the Blazing Sun once again going to interrupt Nurgle Warriors. And there it is. Well, maybe not quite. Pretty close. Yeah, looks like the Soul Grinder did actually end up charging into melee. Gets the Fecundity army heal, so actually really important that this Hellblaster's still alive. They're going to be Absolutely necessary to take out that Soul Grinder. Look at these two absolute Empire Chads, too. Just true heroes of the Empire, slogging it out on foot, cut through demons and Chaos Warriors, and yeah, just been contributing nicely considering how cheap they are. But the Hellblaster is going to be the real piece that finishes this thing off. Of course, although I don't know, those Chaos Warriors might be able to close in and actually shut down the Hellblaster Polygon. The Knights of the Blazing Sun aren't able to hold on for much longer, but let's see. See if the Hellblaster can land a few shots there. Kugas chair. Admiring the view. I will say, some of you guys are going to go in the comments and be like, oh, battle is crap for whatever reasons. Or basically, yeah, just sweat it out, basically, in the comments, which I understand, you know. Part of my commentary is calling out mistakes when I see them and saying how players could improve on various things. But, I mean, in a game like this, when you see the build from the outset, you should know to just take it with a pallet of salt, because it's not meant to be taken 100% seriously, right? Does look like Soul Grinder is going to chase away, go after those Free Company militia there. The Hellblaster volley crew, actually, did they just dismount and run away, or did they stick to their guns like the Chads that they are? Oh no, the guns actually, the banner's just here, the guns are over there. Okay, so the Chaos Warriors actually, they get netted and prevented from chasing. Oh, that actually makes more sense. Chaos player's going to throw in the towel there. Nurgle not wanting any more of that smoke, quite literally. But yeah, beautiful one from Slade. Absolutely love to see Hellblaster volley guns, even rank 9, expensive as they are. It's not necessarily cost effective. Actually, yeah, probably 2 of them pay for themselves. We'd have to look. It's probably like 1,300, I want to say. Well, maybe like 1,250, but still pretty good performance from 2 of them. One of them gets pretty close. The other one gets rushed by Furies a little bit too quickly. The Sunmaker does manage to pay for itself as well, but just overall, absolutely beautiful. Love the Free Company Vanguard. The Sterling's Revenge, 1,700, 8,000 damage dealt on high-value targets. Very good stuff. And from Nurgle's side, just getting caught in a position they didn't expect to be in. I mean, granted, if you're trying to artillery trade against the Empire, you're definitely at risk, because they should be considered a powerful artillery faction. I mean, certainly I would put them easily in the top 5. But, yeah, in particular, I mean, this is not something that you should necessarily expect on a regular basis, which goes back to us not taking this replay too seriously. In any case, let's go ahead and get to the next one. Now we're back, this time against the Ogre Kingdoms. Build is slightly different. Sunmaker's been swapped out for some handguns. We've also got the Demigryph halberds as well. And, yeah, still the Free Company and Hellblaster volley guns, though. Only 3 this time, due to the limitations of the map. It's probably a smart idea, but Ogres are already rushing in, so let's take a look at their build. We've got Iron Guts, Bulls, and Gorgers, and that's pretty much it. Just a mix of all of them, a single Noblar, and Scrag the Slaughterer. So it's definitely an interesting build. You know, Gorgers are one of those units that a little bit underappreciated, perhaps, given their absolute nerf hammer after Warhammer 3's launch. They've really never been good in Immortal Empires, but Scrag can definitely make them a little bit better in a build like this, where you just have so many bodies. Definitely something to be said. Granted, this is a tough matchup for Ogres generally, so I would almost consider this like a mean build. Maybe not quite a full-on mean build, but it's actually going to be fairly effective, because obviously the best thing to do against this overwhelming artillery and ranged fire is just to rush it, right? Rush it down, take it out as quickly as possible in melee. And the Free Company are definitely going to pay that price here, as the Ogres just come absolutely thundering in. Oh yeah, the Hellblasters also sending some units packing, but the nice thing about the Gorgers is the fact that they're unbreakable. They'll be able to make contact even if a bunch of their models get killed on the approach, and all it's going to take is a few models in contact to start to shut down, especially like the artillery, but handgunners too really don't have much melee stats to speak of, so Scrag gets in there. All the Ogres are going to thunder on in and just gloriously charge. Yeah, Sterling's Revenge getting pounded. All the Free Company just paying a severe price for their bravery. But, yeah, here come the Gorgers. All the Overwatch fire in the world. I mean, it'll do damage, obviously, but it's not going to necessarily save. Ooh, we've got a big explosion, too. The Great Maw exploding forth, and I just block it with the flags. Good job, dog. Anyway, yeah, big ol' explosion's gonna immediately rout that unit of handgunners. Demigryph Knights with halberds were deployed on this far side, but face pretty overwhelming odds considering they're pretty much the only dedicated melee unit in this army besides Lord. And yeah, they're going up against a lot of stuff. Granted, they probably got some decent value. No, that's not them. On Demigryph Knights, yes. Actually, not really. Pretty poor performance overall, must be said. But yeah, it's gonna be actually mildly in the Empire's favor in terms of the balance of power, despite the actual battlefield situation. A lot of that comes down to the characters, but you're going to see some handgunners regrouping in a position to potentially overwatch on those Gorgers. The one Hellblaster volley gun also still online, but quickly being closed on by some big old bodies. And even low leadership, low HP unit of bulls can get in here no problem and crump these gits. Wait, that's the wrong faction. Slap these bellies. I don't know. Demigryphs charge in, though. They're going to do some decent damage. They are not the Royal Altdorf Gryphites, so they're not going to terror route. Not that the Gorgers would terror route anyway, of course, being unbreakable. But very quickly, the Ogres are going to swing the balance of power and take a pretty decisive lead here, and there's not a lot Slade can do to really stop this at this point. Just, you know, go out in a blaze of glory. Guns going off, and obviously, again, like I said, this is a relatively tough matchup for the Ogres, so nice to see them pull out a win, even if it is through meme builds. Again, I don't know, would you consider this Ogre build a meme build? Maybe I'm actually coming around to the fact that just so many bodies like this makes it tough to stop. I do think against a more traditional Empire build, I don't know, do spears actually do anything for you here? You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Arguable that this much mass can just plow through like a set number of spears and get on to the next thing, but at least with some layers of defense, maybe not having the Free Company get killed so fast. Well, the Free Company might have actually paid for themselves to a decent degree in that short time that they were alive. Let's take a look at that at the post-battle screen. General of the Empire on foot, counts as infantry, so these Iron Guts will be getting their bonus versus him. And the handguns fighting Noblars in melee and actually kind of winning. Oh no, those are Free Company. Okay, makes more sense. These handguns are kind of able to help protect this pocket here. Light Wizard actually gets a charge and kills a couple models there from the Iron Guts, but it's looking pretty hopeless. Critical army losses very quickly closing in on the Empire. Oh yeah, another big maw explosion there was about to end things, but the Empire's gonna throw in the towel anyway. So glorious victory and a glorious defeat for Slade today. Both in equal measure, obviously, when you're taking builds like this, probably, but it's definitely fun to watch. And yeah, again, the whole solution here, if you find yourself suddenly in a situation where you're faced by multiple rank 9 artillery pieces, just to run at them, just immediately, you know, attack move, so to speak. Not that you actually can do that in this game, but you know what I mean. Just walk forward and attack, and yeah, try as hard as possible not to get absolutely blasted on the approach. But it helps when you have a build that has a lot of stuff, especially if you have a lot of mid-tier stuff. It kind of forces the artillery to have to pick and choose targets, right? So like here in this battle, obviously the Iron Guts and the Bulls sort of take the initial brunt of that. Yeah, all the Bulls just get absolutely clobbered except for one. Then Iron Guts and the Gorgers are able to come in as a second wave and actually clean up some significant value. So it's definitely an interesting one. Free Company, yeah, one of them paid for themselves, okay. Handgunners, again, one of them was able to pay for themselves. The Hellblasters, same thing. Well, maybe two. But yeah, the Demigryph Knights with halberds, man, that's a unit that could use some serious buffs because they are pretty terrible, to be honest. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.